love somebody today cannot be the same way you loved them yesterday. How it works going forward in the future cannot only reference the past. Think about your relationships. The love that began it is very different from the love where it is now, and it must be different. It can't be the same. I like the saying that love runs out at midnight. Like whatever you did at midnight, it's done. There's no accumulating. Well, I put so much into the love bank, tomorrow we should be good to go, right? I don't have to do any more. No. At midnight, you're back to zero. It's a good way of thinking about it. And we need to make sure that we are not like silly Jack, where we always are referencing the last solution. But we're presently minded to think about what we should do now, today, with this particular thing. The Lord is able to prepare your heart. He's able to prepare your mind. He's able to prepare your mouth for the love just for today. Just for today. And even if you've squandered it or if you've messed it up, taking that step towards Him and getting that love from Him is always going to be a step in the right direction. And we need to be careful lest we love people the way kind of the silly Jack approach, right? These shepherds, they saw what the angels told them. They told others what was revealed, and they let God's message do its work. And that's exactly what was needed, nothing more, nothing less. And at this point, I'd like to kind of transition a little bit to talking about love in a slightly different way. As I was thinking this week about love and about, again, love is something for others being precedent from our love for God, I began to think, what exactly is the goal of love? Why is it, for example, that we want to be loved? And what does it actually mean to us that we are loved? People love to be loved. Who here likes to be loved? Does anybody here not like to be loved? Let's get that out of the way. Okay, good. So you're all human beings. Great. You like to be loved by other people. You like to be loved by God. But what exactly is the goal of love? Is the goal of love just to be loved? I think not. I think it's like one level deeper than that. What are we aiming at as we love other people? What are we aiming at as we love God? And I think the issue really is this. The end purpose of love, the reason we want love is because the goal of love has to do with your identity, with who you are, and assurance of who you are. As someone loves you and you receive it, how you're receiving it is that they know me and they accept me. When you hear that God loves you, what does that mean? It means that if you receive it, that is, if you receive it, it means that He accepts you. He knows you, He knows everything about you, and He accepts you. That's the goal of love, this idea of identity and assurance. I was reading a devotional by Oswald Chambers in which he said this about identity and about personality. He makes this observation that you really reach your real identity when you are merged with another person. You reach your real identity when you're merged with another person. And I think, in our contemporary culture, we are such an individualistic culture, right? We kind of really stress the nature of the individual, and some of that is because of our culture, some of that is because of our politics, some of that is because of the way our nation kind of functions, right? Individual property ownership. I mean, there's just so many ways we talk about the right of the individual, and that's important in its own right. But we can get so kind of caught up in who I am versus who you are, and then they are, and this person. They're all different, and you get so caught up in identity of just the singular one that you forget that your identity really is always incomplete. Your identity is always incomplete until it's merged with another. The idea for this kind of understanding of the goal of love and the purpose is actually from Jesus' prayer in John chapter 17, verse 22, in which he is praying, and it's in a lengthy chapter about the things that Jesus is praying, but at the end of this prayer, he's praying about the future believers, those who would come to believe in his name. And he says this in verse 22, that they, the future believers, may be one, even as we, Jesus and the Father, are one. This is the goal of love, of people receiving the gift of love, is that their identity would become wrapped up in the merging of what happens when you are loved and when you receive that love. Think about a marriage. A marriage is supposed to be a union of two people, but it can only happen when both make the decision to merge their lives together. Marriage is a terrible thing when you decide that you're going to bring two people together and yet they still are always maintaining their individualness. Not that they shouldn't, they're different people, that's besides the point, but that they never come to the point where there's no weaving of the two. The marriage itself won't have any personality, won't have a kind of a unionness, a oneness about it. It has to occur through the idea of merging. And this is what the goal of love is to bring you and me to a place of oneness. Oneness with each other as the church, oneness with God. This identity of being fully known, fully accepted, fully me. And here's why I talk about this at length, is that when you love others, that's the goal of the love. The goal is not to just show them a kindness or do a good thing. It's to bring them into seeing and hopefully receiving oneness with God. That they would be brought to a place where they would merge their life also with the one who made them and the one who redeemed them, the one who loves them, and through whom which they can now be a real personality, a merged person with this God of love.